Welcome in to Numbers Don't Lie, powered by Sofascore. Alongside Chris Wittyngham, I am Stefano Fusaro, and we are just under 75 days away from the start of the World Cup, gearing up for what's going to be a massive tournament here in North America. So we're going to start with a little blind ranking of Sofascore's top 10 international teams in their rankings. We're going to rank them first. Then we're going to check out their top 10 list to see how it matches up. Of course, you guys can comment on YouTube, on our YouTube page just below. So let's start. Chris, you're going to start first. We're going to go with Germany first. Where are you going to rank them?
Germany is a really tough one because I think we've seen in recent times a little bit of an increase in form from them. Obviously, they, of course, have won this tournament. They've won it multiple times. And I think you look at over the course of their history, they've been obviously an incredibly strong contender. But in the most recent World Cups, they haven't been that great. You go back to the Nations League. They lost both of their games in the Nations League semifinals and, of course, the third place match as well. They've struggled against some high-level opposition. So for blind ranking them, I don't know which teams are coming. Obviously, I think we know who the contenders are. I'm going to put them 7th. Ooh, I'm going to put them as 7th. I think the high-level, powerful national teams are a little bit better than this Germany side at the moment. So I'm going for 7th for Germany.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I was looking at my next team to go for number 7, but we're going to have to switch it up then. So I'm going with Brazil. Obviously, the 5-time winners. No one's won it more, but it has been a struggle here for several years for this Brazilian side. We look at them, obviously, under manager Carlo Ancelotti. We have an incredible manager that knows how to lead men, knows how to lead a team, but does he have enough in the midfield and on that back line? So I'm going to go with Brazil at number 6.
Okay.
I was looking at them at number 7, but I'll put them at number 6 for Brazil.
I promise we're not pandering to the internet audience by starting with 6 and 7 first. So Brazil, I don't know. That's a tough one for me. Let's go to England then. So I think England, on the basis of squad, I would put them 3rd. But I think because the one factor that I'm factoring in most with England, they have an amazing squad. I think that they're really well put together. Thomas Tuchel, I think, is a very good international coach. The one thing that I worry about with them is heat. I just don't think for the World Cup in the United States, it's going to be a big talking point. The media is going to complain about it. The players are going to complain about it. Yes. Oh, it's 95 degrees. We're dying here. It's so hot in the United States. I would put them 4th as a result. I'm put them 4th because I think the heat is going to be too much of a worry for them. I just don't think. I don't back them as it stands right now against the very, very, very best teams that are just slightly above them in my view.
A lot of red faces
yes.
we will see on the English national team and their fans. It's an interesting one with England because it's a team that I think have the talent to be 4th, maybe even higher. The issue is that killer mentality. They lack it. They lack being able to put games away, even in their friendlies that we've just seen as of late. That lack of killer instinct to be able to go and finish games off, I think that will be difficult for them to overcome with the heat and with everything else that they have. And the pressure of just being an English national team will be interesting. All right, let's move on. I got Portugal here. This is a tough one because with Portugal, I think that we know that probably one of the more talented teams in the world as far as just top to bottom, talent at every level, at every position. Have they figured out what they're going to do at that number 9 position? Is Cristiano Ronaldo going to be leading this team? Is he a better player off the bench at this point? It's a difficult one to task. I'm going to go with Portugal at number 5. I'd like them at 4. I'm going to go with Portugal at number 5. A team that can go out and win this tournament, but they haven't done it yet. And I don't know if they are going to be winning their very first tournament in a 48-team World Cup for the first time ever.
And Cristiano Ronaldo's never scored a World Cup knockout round goal. So I think we'll see if this is the tournament for him and this is finally the tournament where Portugal get it done. We've taken up all the spots in the middle. Let's go to Spain next. There is no spots on the boundary. This is the number 1 team in my view. Okay. And I think there is one other team that I think has a better playing squad. We'll get to them later, but I think Spain are the best team. They're the team with the clearest identity, that tournament upon tournament upon tournament as the reigning European champions. This is what they can deliver. This is who they are. And I think Spain are as solid as they has ever been. Obviously, fitness plays a huge part of it, but you just think about what they have in reserve. You think about the midfield that they played at the Euros didn't really feature Pedri.
Right.
You add Pedri to this team. So the talent that they have, the pieces fit well together. Mikel Oyarzabal on that forward line as a center forward, he scores goals. He fits a national team role flawlessly. I just see them as the clear favorites to win this tournament.
Yeah, it's fair. They are I wouldn't call them the most talented side top to bottom.
Yes.
But I do think that they are the best team when it comes to just chemistry, everything related. And when you talk about that midfield, Pedri back next to Rodri, it's clearly the best two in the midfield in the world. I don't think there's any argument about that. So I think, Spain is fair.
That's before you throw in Dani Olmo and Fabian Ruiz and all these incredible players.
All right, we move on to Argentina, the defending champions. We just know how difficult it is to repeat. Not many teams have done it, so it'll be very difficult for them. I do think that chemistry-wise, we talk about chemistry with Spain. Argentina is up there. They may not have the best squad when you look at them, but they know how to play together. They played several games, won trophies, so they have a lot going for them there. Obviously, Lionel Messi playing his final World Cup will be big. We think. I mean, at this point, come on. He doesn't want to finalize this. He doesn't want to make this decision.
I don't want to rule it out.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Argentina at number 3. I think that they are still going to be a very difficult team to compete with, a team that has a structure really top to bottom. So many players, even on the bench, that can come in and impact the game. I'm going to have them at number 3 only because it's so difficult to repeat as World Cup champions.
It's so difficult, and I worry a bit about the aging process. Thinking about how big Messi and DePaul were in the last World Cups, they're 4 years on. They're playing in MLS now. They just might not be able to hit that same level. All right, what's next? France. Okay, so France is next. I think I'm a little bit, I picked England 4, I think a little bit, at least in part because what we saw from France over the course of the international window, absolutely destroying Brazil, laying waste to Colombia as well. I think if it wasn't for what Spain have done as a collective and what I believed them to be in terms of both talent and chemistry, I think you could easily put France in number 1 just because they are just so loaded in those forward positions in particular. You look at, I mean, they make rotations. They make rotations against Colombia, and they're starting from 4, if I remember correctly, was Thuram, Doué, Akliouche, and Ryan Cherki.
It's their C team.
That's their rotational team.
That's their C team.
It's absurd, the level of talent. So I've gone for them at number 2. I think without question, they're sort of that second contender. And I think if I believed it a little bit more in Deschamps and what they can bring together as a collective, I think they're the most talented team at the tournament. I just don't think they're the best collective at this tournament yet. We'll see if that develops over the course of this one.
That's fair. If you look at this team, though, with France, you can argue that they could be number 1, like we mentioned. If you get into a shootout, a scoring shootout, you're not going to win against this France side because they can score goals at will, 5-6 goals in a game. Fair at number 2, but clearly they have an argument for number 1. Okay, Norway. This is an interesting one. Obviously, Erling Haaland leading this team is a big deal. Alexander Sorloth, they could score the goals as well. I don't know so much about their back line. It might be an issue for them taking on some of the teams that they do have to play in the group stage. I'm going to go with Norway at number 9, only because with some of the teams that we have left, I think that Norway at number 9 is solid because they can go up, they can move up this list, and they can surprise a lot of teams, I think. There are teams that don't want to face this Norway side. There's no question about it. But I think that 9 is fair for them in the top 10.
A lot of this is based on qualifying, what they did, but let's be fair, they really only smashed Italy in that group. I think if you look at over the course of the last 25, 26 years, Norway are not a team that have competed well at high international level. So to do that straight away in your first World Cup for a long time, it's a little bit odds against for me, but I like where you're at with Norway at number 9. Let's go then next to, who are we blind ranking next? The Netherlands. Okay, so Netherlands for me are a really interesting team because I actually really like the performances they put in at the Euros in 2024. The group is reasonably good. There's just something that makes me think that they're not quite at top level contender status. So I'm going to put them at number 8 here. They're for me the kind of team that I'm still struggling to figure out where they are in the hierarchy of European football and of world football in general. So I'm going to put them at number 8. I can see them getting to a quarterfinal potentially.
That's fair. I think the question marks there are the attackers. The number 9 position, I think, is a big question. And Ronald Koeman, I think, don't have that trust in him just yet to be able to lead a team to a World Cup. They've seen them come so close so many times, obviously quarterfinals several times. They lost in the quarterfinals to Argentina just recently as well. So it'll be interesting for sure. I think it's fair for them there at number 9. And number 10, what do we got? Croatia, Sofascore, Croatian company. That's why they're in the top 10. But Croatia, obviously, no, that's obviously just in jest. But Croatia, the talent is there. We know the players that have been on this team. Luka Modric, not going to be playing the same role he's played in the past for the Croatian national team. But they have so much talent. They have so many players that, again, they've gotten to semifinals of World Cups consistently now. And it is a team that you don't want to play just because of their experience. I don't think they have enough to win it, though.
Yeah, I think we look at Croatia as a team that a lot of countries in the past have struggled with sort of regime generational change as it relates sort of going from your golden generation, your best period ever to what's next. I think Croatia have done a reasonably good job at that. I could see them maybe being a little bit better than either Norway or the Netherlands at this tournament, but I think 10 is about the right spot for them.
Yeah, I think that with Norway and Croatia there, it's kind of a 9 and 10 A and B. All right, this is Sofascore's power rankings. Let's check it out. Okay, some differences here. They have France at 3, Argentina at 2, so there's some differences there. What else do you notice here, Witty?
Yeah, I mean, Brazil at 5, I think is an interesting one. Germany being all the way down in 8th, and Croatia just being that level below them. But I think it is Argentina at 2. And obviously, they have been fantastic in qualifying, playing in South America as the reigning champions. They deserve a lot of respect. But I just sort of wonder, at this World Cup, is it maybe a step too far for them? I would have France above them for sure.
All right, that's fair. There are some differences here. I don't like Germany there at 8, like you mentioned. I think it's, even though it's just one off, I wanted to push Germany up a bit higher. Okay. So it's an interesting decision there by them to have them 8, but we will see. All right, let's take a look at some of the teams that didn't make the top 10, that were close, maybe some snubs. Some nations outside. Here we go. Senegal, Belgium, Uruguay, Colombia, Morocco, Japan. If I'm looking at any of these here, I think the one that stands out the most is Morocco, because we talked about Morocco for several years now about being a dark horse after their World Cup in 2022 and being a team that can go out and fight. They lose the AFCON final. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. They now are getting the trophies apparently, but Senegal doesn't want to give it up. But that's the one that stands out the most of why weren't they in the top 10 of Sofascore's rankings?
Yeah, I think, on the basis of how they performed in African football, they're fantastic. They made the World Cup semifinal. They're performing well in youth tournaments. They did well at the Olympics. So, yeah, I think this is a footballing nation on the rise. This is sort of one of those things where, obviously the Sofascore ratings are based on the numbers, but I wonder if Morocco almost have to earn that sort of reputation of being a top-level team. There's no host nations anywhere to be seen. Yeah. We've ranked the top 10. These are the 16. I can't see a scenario in which one of the host nations, US, Canada, or Mexico, does not end up in the last 16, or multiple of them don't end up in the last 16. Host nations have always performed well. The crowd and the countries will be behind them. I can't see a scenario that we don't see one of those 3.
Of the 3 host nations, who would you expect to go the furthest?
I don't want to be a homer, but I think it is the United States, just on the basis of the group that they have as a Pot A team. Mexico, I think, need to prove it again at this sort of level, so I would put the US as slightly above the other 2 hosts.
It's fair. I think some would argue that maybe Mexico should be there, but I think it's a fair shout. The USA playing at home, they're going to overperform what they're expecting. For you guys on YouTube, we're asking you, what nation is the biggest snub in this top 10 ranking for either our ranking or Sofascore's ranking? Leave your comment below on our YouTube channel. We're going to take a quick break here on Numbers Don't Lie. Much more coming up on the other side.
Hey, thanks for watching this video from Numbers Don't Lie. Be sure to catch our show every Monday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. And for news and insights from leagues all around the world, including Serie A, EFL, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.